Okay, I hope all of you can see my screen. So this is a program that we are doing in Kedarkantha mountain. Just want to clear that out. Kedarkantha is like a peak where people do trekking, and Kedarnath is a pilgrimage place. So these are two different places, and they have nothing to do with each other. And here children are going for Kedarkantha, where this is a program starting on 19th of May till 28th. So 19th is the day that they would start from Delhi, and they would be coming back to Delhi on 28th. It's out and out. If you just look at the entire travel days also, it'll be like a 10-day kind of program. Okay. And currently, as I said, we have got 13 children registered for the program. It's a small group. I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun. We have got children coming from Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Kolkata, and the couple from Bombay and from Delhi also, if I'm not wrong. So there's a mix of everybody here. So they get to interact with kids from different other places. Coming into the program design, this is one of an out and out backpacking program that we do. So out of the 10 days, for 3 night and 4 days, children would be out on the trek where they're trying to summit this mountain called Kedarkantha, which is around 12,500 feet in height. And this is in Uttarakhand in a district called as Uttarkashi. That's the little familiar name there, right? And this is one of a popular treks, generally also in a outdoor world. And apart from that, we have been doing this trek for a while. It's been like almost 10 to 12 years since we have started this trek. And we also do this throughout the year. Like we do this during summers, which is typically during now. And apart from that, we do the same version in the snow trek also, which is during the end of March is when we do this. And there are also other school programs that we keep working with, and they keep going to the trek throughout multiple times of the year. And we are very familiar with this trek. We have, as I said, we have been doing it for a long time. And also one of our biggest camps called as Camp Towns. So that which is going to be like a base camp for this program. This is also in the same region. So at the same time of Kedarkantha, we also have a younger children program of 13 to 15 happening there, which is called as Camp Towns, where they stay on the campus. Every day they step out of a camp and then do their activities and then come back to the campus. But whereas Kedarkantha children, they would step out of the campus for a 4 days of duration, and then they summit this trek and then mountain, and then they come back to the campus. I'll just come to the program design itself. So the day one, when they're starting from Delhi, they usually start around 7 o'clock from Delhi, and they would be traveling in a bigger, comfortable buses. As I said, they would also be joining the rest of the Tons children, and together they would travel in these buses. And these are AC pushback recliner seats buses. These are not the sleeper ones. And once they start the journey around 7, en route they will have a dinner around 9 o'clock, and then they would reach a place called as Hatkoti, which is the border for Himachal and the Uttarakhand as a states. And by then they would be reaching this particular place around 8 in the morning, and they'll have breakfast there. And we will be shifting the children from these bigger buses to a smaller buses, because beyond that the bigger buses cannot travel. So the Volvos can travel only till that place. But the good thing is the majority of the journey of 90-95% is done in this bigger buses. And the last 50 odd kilometers is what they would do in the non-AC bus. But that 50 kilometers is going to take a good 2.5, 3 hours for them to reach the campus. Yeah. And by around 11 or 12, between that time is when the children are expected to reach the campus. And once they reach the campus, the first day, it's all going to be about introduction to the camp and getting to know about each other, and tents and everything would be allocated for children. So I'm guessing there must be some friends who are coming in together. So in case if children want to stay together, it's up to them who they want to stay with. Of course, boys and girls are separate, but we'll kind of ask them to make a group of 3 kids or 4 kids. These are like a fairly large tents where it can accommodate 5 children per tent. But here they can just decide who they want to stay with. And once that all of that is done in the evening, we will do something called as an expectation settings and norms. Then some of the rules that children need to follow on the campus and the boundaries and camp tour and all of that would happen on the first day. And from the second day is the day that they would get into typical backpacking planning and learning few skills that is required for the expedition. So they would also be doing an acclimatization trek on the second day of the program, where they would start from the campus. They quickly try to gain some altitude, and then they will spend a little bit of time there. And just this is also to see how children are doing in terms of trek, and if there is anything that we need to discuss and things that we need to take care of. So some observation during the trek, and post that they would also be learning about how to pitch a tent and how do you pack a backpack. So when they're leaving for their expedition, the entire idea of our programs is to help children to step out of their comfort zones. We want them to be a part of everything on this program. So we get them involved in the planning, we get them involved in execution, so that they get a pure backpacking program experience, right? They'll have to work together as a team. They'll have to do a lot of problem solving to figure out what is the better solutions, right? So all of this is something that they would learn on the go. And second day, once they have done this preparation of for the plan for the trek, meaning when I'm talking about preparation, they'll have to do the entire plan for the next 4 days. Like example, how many tents do they need to carry? They'll have to figure out how many boys and girls are there, how many instructors are there, male and female instructor, and based on that, how many tents do they need to carry? And what kind of food they want to prepare for the next 4 days. They'll have to design the entire menu. They'll have to procure the material that is required for this uh, menu from the kitchen, and then they start packing things in their rucksack, right? So there are certain things that children would be carrying for the program. I mean, for the trek, which is basically their personal clothing that is required for the 2 or 3 days, sorry, the 4 days of duration. They will carry their sleeping bag. They will carry their toiletries and everything. And apart from that, a little bit of ration also they would be carrying, but they do not carry like a bigger utensils or kitchen equipments or tents with them. All of that part would go onto the mules. So they will have to pack all of this on the second day of the program, and then after that, they would just start the trek. And sorry, I'm just going to show you the actual one. Okay, this one. So on the third day is when they do all of this, and then the fourth day is the day that they're going to start the trek. So when they're starting the trek, ideally they would start the journey from the campus at around the post breakfast, like 7:30 in the morning. And from there, it's a 40-kilometer jeep ride to the base of the Kedarkantha camp, which is called as Sankri. And till there, they would be traveling in the jeeps. That's going to take around 1.5, 2 hours for them. And probably at around 10 o'clock is when they would be starting the trek. And when they start the trek, the altitude would generally be around like 6,500 feet or so. And then from there, they would start the trek. And the first day, they would cover around 4 to 5 kilometers in terms of distance. And they would be traveling through steep uphills, and they would be doing it through pine forest. And when they're about to reach the first night out spot, which is called as Judaka Talab, that's where children would be camping on the first night. And this is at around like 9,500 feet height. And through this journey, they would be crossing some streams, and it would ideally take them around like a good 4.5 hours for them to reach the campsite. And in between, we'll be taking multiple breaks also. And on that particular day, we will also be carrying packed lunch with us. And that they would just have it on the go. And by the time that the children are reaching the campsite, it might be anywhere between 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And after that, children have to set up the tents, and they'll have to set up the entire campsite. So when they were just doing this planning on the camp on the Tons campus, this is what they would be doing. It. They will have to divide amongst themselves into smaller groups, like 3 to 4 children in a tent pitching group, 3 to 4 children in a cooking team, and another 3 to 4 in a miscellaneous team, where their job is to collect water and firewood that is required for cooking and the night. So their responsibilities would be allocated. Once they reach these night out spots is when they will start getting into action, and they'll have to take care of their departments. And kids who are doing the tent pitching will start pitching the tents, and the kids who are involved in cooking will start preparing for the dinner. They'll probably make a snack or something in the evening, or just boil some milk and probably make a soup, something like that initially. And then they'll get into the initial, full-fledged night out dinner preparations on that day. And that would probably take around like a good 2, 3 hours for them to finish their entire dinner preparation. And then after that, they'll have a meal and sleep. And the next day morning is when they will have to pack everything and then move to a next destination. So on the day 5 is when they would leave from the Judaka Tala, and they will have to unpitch the tents. They'll have to wash their utensils, everything, clean up that campsite, also not leaving any trash there. And from there, they will start the trek to the next place, which is the base camp of Kedarkantha. And that is around 11,500 to 12,000 feet in terms of altitude. And over there, they would set up another campsite. And this is around like a good 3 to 4 kilometers of trek, but it's not as difficult as the first day, because first day they kind of gain a lot of altitude, and the second day it's around a couple of thousands is what they would gain the altitude. But also would take around like a 2 to 3 hour trek for them. And once they reach the base camp of Kedarkantha is when they will start again setting up the tents and everything. But on that particular day, they'll have to uh, prepare the dinner a little sooner. They'll have to sleep a little sooner because the next day is the summit day. So for the summit, what we do is we kind of wake up early in the morning at around 2 or 3 in the morning, and we will start the trek around 3 and try to be there during the sunrise time. So the last day is the day that where children would be covering around like 6 kilometers of one-way distance to the summit, and they would ideally reach around somewhere between 7 to 8 a.m. and they would spend an hour or so at the summit and enjoy the views. And then from there they will start descending back to the Kedarkantha base camp again, where the tents are already pitched, right? So in that particular day, they'll have like something like a quick lunch, but when they're starting the trek, they would also have like a quick snack in the morning around 3 o'clock. They'll carry some snacks with them during the trek where they can just keep trekking and then have like a snack, a trail mix, fruits, and things like that, right? So they'll have meals on the trek. And once they come back, they will quickly make something like a whatever the children have designed for that day. But it'll be on that particular day, it'll be like a quick one to make. And once they have the lunch is when they would wrap up everything from there again, which is around 11,000 feet, and then come back to the Judaka Talab on the third day of the trek itself. That particular day is the day that the children would be trekking the most. But by then they would also be used to carrying a rucksack. They would have used to doing it on uphill and everything. So they would have built some strength there, right? And when they're doing the summit push is when they will not be carrying any bigger rucksacks or so they will not carrying their personal belongings and everything. They'll probably just empty it out, everything into the tent, and then just carry the snacks in a bag and then take that back. So it's pretty light and it's not something that they carry like a heavy weight for the summit or anything. And after that is when they start descending to the next base camp, which is the Juda Khatala. And if they're starting the trek again at around probably 3 o'clock or 3:30, they might reach the Juda Khatala. It's just a downhill, so they would reach around 5 o'clock or so. And then they will get into dinner preparations and everything. And after that, the day 8 is the day that, sorry, day 7 is the day that they would be moving from Judaka Talab all the way till the Sankri. The first day where they have started the trek, that's the place that they would be coming back to. And again, it's a downhill, so but it would still take a good 3 hours for them to reach this Sankri. And at Sankri, there are jeeps and everything that are there for the children. And from there, they would be reaching the town's campus by around lunchtime. So on that particular day, they'll have like a small celebratory dinner on that campus. And we also do a couple of rafting sessions in a program. So the campus that we have called Tons is actually the name of the river that is next to the campus, which is called Tons, which is a biggest tributary of the Yamuna River that flows in. And here they would do a couple of rafting sessions. So sometimes we might start the rafting session on the first day when they have reached the campus, just to give the thrill of the activity. Or it could be that we are doing both the sessions once they're done with the uh, entire trek. So it's the call that the expedition leader would take on the campus. So in case if they're coming back from the campus and then doing it, then they would be doing like 2 sessions of rafting again there. And there's no requirement of children to learn about swimming or anything. It's a great place for them to learn rafting also. And they would in the rafting sessions, they would a first session would be somewhere around like a 5 kilometer distance, but they'll get to know a lot about rafting. Like they will get to know about the curves and balancing of the raft and the weight distribution, hydrology of a river, and the movement, paddle movements, and how to work together as a team. So all of this is something that they would learn on the first day. And the second day is pure fun ride where they're doing it for 9 kilometers of rafting on the Tons River. It's a great one to do. And they will cool down and then come back to the campus. They will be engaged in different set of team building activities there, and by then they would have already worked together as a team during the expedition and in terms of cooking or collecting waters, utensils, a lot of things, right? So children will be taking charge during that entire expedition. So they would have already worked together as a team quite a lot. And here also, once they come back, they'll be doing some strategic games, or they would be having like a talent shows, or a helter skelter is another thing that we do on the campus, which is basically Inme Olympics, where they do series of games and they participate in it as a team and they compete with each other, and they win some prizes at the end also. Don't want to spoil too much, but that's a great one for them to have. And on the day 9 is when they will have a closure on the program, discuss about the entire experience, how did the entire experience go, and what are the challenges they have faced, and if there is anyone who has helped them, appreciate them, and what are the learnings that we are going to take back from the campus. So all of this is a part of a closure, and after that, they would have like a small feedback session and letting us know what are the things that they liked and what are things they didn't, and things that we need to improve on, right? So all of that would happen. And post lunch is when they would be leaving from the campus. Generally, this is around 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon. And again, the first 50 kilometers would be in a non-AC bus, and they would reach a dinner point, and then from there they would shift it into the Volvos, and then they start the journey back to Delhi. And on the 28th is when they're going to reach the Delhi, which is around 5:30 in the morning. But all of these travel details and everything we will keep sharing with you on the WhatsApp channel. So safety, it's our 30th year of running summer camps, and every time that we are choosing a program or designing a program, safety is the first thing that we look at. And as a part of it, we have like a great ratio of instructor to children, which is 1:6. And this is a combination of male and female instructors. And we'll also have a doctor who is going to be there on the base camp of the towns. And we are equipped with right from a basic medication till a nebulizer setup on a campus. And when the children are leaving out for a trek, again, we have got our instructors who are trained in wilderness first aid. We carry a dedicated medical kits with us uh, for anywhere that we are with the children, even during a travel or an expedition. For expedition, we carry a certain amount of more medications that is to do with expedition. Or for travel, there are a bunch of medications, and we make sure that anything that is required for the children is well taken care on the campus. Transport, we already discussed. These are good, comfortable buses. They're well recceived and spoken. These are also the vendors that we have been working for a long time. Equipment, any sort of an equipment that we use for the campus are generally well maintained, and they're properly logged, and they go through a rigor check before we start the seasons also. And whenever we are doing the activities for the children, before even that leaves the activity room, there is another check that goes through. If there is anything that we need to ideally repair or something, we kind of discard them, get a new set in terms of an equipment. But here, children would not be using any difficult technical equipment as such. So there's no ropes or anything that they would be using it. They would be carrying a rucksacks. So there are certain rucksacks that children would carry from home, and there is Inme rucksacks that we will provide. I'll talk about this when we're talking about kit list again. Medical facility, as I mentioned, the instructors are trained in wilderness first aid, and we have a doctor on the campus also. And there are emergency vehicles on the campus in case if there is anything that we need to evacuate or visit a medical facility or anything. We have all the things that are arranged for the children on the campus. These are some of the pictures from the trek last year. And accommodation, the Tons campus that I was talking about, it's one of our biggest flagship campus where it has an accommodation of like around 160 kids for that, where Tons is a program that ideally runs for in a bigger numbers. And Kedarkantha is another camp that we have. There are instructor tents and everything. And here they would be staying in a tent kind of an accommodation. These are fixed structure tents where it can accommodate 5 children per tent. And there are proper built-up washrooms on the campus, which are separate for boys and girls. And there are bathing areas that are different, and the toilets are different. There are facility for hot water. So there's no geyser system as such in the washroom, but it's more like a bucket system that children have to collect it from a place. But again, this is in the washroom the area itself. Probably they just have to carry it for a 5 to 10 meters as such. That's it. And when the children are on the expedition, they would be staying in a smaller tents, the ones that you are seeing here. So these are the tents that children would be using in when they're on an expedition. So here, these are generally like a 3 children accommodation tents. And again, it's up to them who they want to stay with. Boys and girls is up to it. And when they're on the expedition, there are no proper built-up washrooms there, right? So they will have to use makeshift toilet tents. And these are, again, they don't have a WCs or anything inside the toilet tent. So this is basically a structure like a tent. And the most sustainable way to go for a washroom in the wilderness is to dig a pit, and then we kind of dig like a huge pit, and then we do our business, cover it back with the mud. That's the most sustainable way. There's no other alternate on a mountain, or else people just keep dirtying the entire mountain, right? So that's not the idea of it. We want it to be a clean place for everybody to use it. So there are dedicated places where they pitch the toilet tent and everything. Children are informed about it. We take them to have to pitch that tent, have to dig a pit using a shawl and everything. Meals on the campus, we have an options for veg, non-veg, and junk food options on the campus. I'm sure you would have selected the food preferences in the application form. And if there is any sort of an food that children have are allergic to, again, you would have mentioned in the application form medical section. In case if there is any new developments, if you get to know that children are allergic to any certain food at this point of time that you have not mentioned in the form, please to send a message to me on a WhatsApp. I will add it to the list. And apart from that, when they're on the campus, there are 7 meals that we generally arrange for the children in a day. Right from the time that they get up around 6:30, they'll have their milk, hot chocolate, Bonvita tea, whatever they wish to have, along with some biscuits. And 8 o'clock is their first meal, which is like a breakfast, and lunch is served at around 1 o'clock, and dinner at around 8 o'clock. But these are like a buffet system, the major meals, which is lunch, breakfast, and dinner. And we have an options for it's primarily vegetarian food on the campus, but there is also non-veg that we serve during the dinners. And mornings they have got eggs also as well. But during the expedition, it's more that children know what are they designing the menu. But at the same time, we also make sure that we want it to be like nutritious food that they are having on a trek. So we do not carry anything like a non-veg on the trek. There are eggs that we carry sometimes, but again, it's more to do with the call that children will take on the campus. But apart from that, pretty much else that children would be having is like a proper nutritious meal. And there are snacks and everything that we have in the evenings and during an activity time also. So they're kind of well fed every 2, 3 hours. There we keep reminding them about hydration and everything. We make sure that children are keeping well and eating good amount of food on the campus. Travel plan we discussed already. Okay, so this is our programs. I know that some of them have already been to me who are attending this program. Some of them it might be the first time. We just wanted to set some right expectations on the program. We want to make sure that children also understand that what they're signing up for, and these are not like a luxury kind of a programs. The basic idea of a program is to help children to step out of their comfort zones, right? At the same time, we make sure that they're all safe and well taken care on the campus. So the program that they're coming for, it's not a luxury camp, it's not a luxury resort kind of an accommodation or anything. It's more of a Spartan kind of an accommodation. Children will be staying in a tents and a hard surfaces, but they have on the town's campus, they would be staying in a like there is a foldable mattress that they get, and on top of that, they use a sleeping bag there. And similarly, for an expedition in the tent, they will have a camping mattress where they just roll it out in the inside the tent, and they will have a sleeping bag. So it's quite comfortable for them by using this sleeping bag and the rolling mat there. And this is one of the important one about the communication. As you all know, these our programs are like a completely gadget-free programs. There won't be any sort of a devices with the children for that duration of 10 days. When they reach the Delhi airport, most of them are flying into the program. And once they reach the Delhi airport is when we will be asking the children to hand over the phones to us. And from then, all the communication would be coming on to you to a WhatsApp channel. So this is the same channel link that I've sent in the orientation message also. So please have a look at it. In case if you want, I can just run you through this process also. You can just type my number in your WhatsApp chat. My number is what you have received the orientation message. It's 9148589350. I can repeat the number again. It's 9148589350. And in the orientation message, there is a section about timely updates. And that's where I've sent a WhatsApp channel link, and please do click on that link. And on the top right corner, you will see something called as follow. So please follow that option. And again, click on the notifications, enable that. And this is a channel. It's not like a regular group. It's a one-way communication that you will have. And this is ideally, it is present in update section in the WhatsApp, not in the regular chat. So once you open a WhatsApp at the bottom, you have chat and you have calls and you have got update section. So moment you click on the update is where you will see that Inme Kedarkantha expedition channel there. And On a daily basis, we will be sending out two updates. There is a morning update around 10 o'clock, sorry, 11 o'clock, and there is an evening update around 6 o'clock. Both of them are like a text updates. These are not an individual updates of an individual child. It's more to do with what is the group as planned for the day, where have they reached, and what is the plan for the rest of the day, what meals they have, basic information like this. And apart from that, we will also be posting 15 to 20 pictures on a daily basis. Again, mostly would be a group pictures, and it's also like a small group here. So uh, mostly you would be seeing the children on a daily basis. And there might be days that we are not receiving the pictures because when they're on the expedition, they are at a high altitude and there is no network at most of the places in the mountain, but there are dedicated places that we get internet there. So in case if when we're just trekking through our regular trek route, if we find the signal, we just kind of upload all the pictures and see on the go it will pick up, and then we might receive some, and then we will post it. Or there are days that we may not be able to receive a live update also. So in case if there is any sort of an emergency, my team is well briefed and they know that they need to go to that place and then give us a call, and then whatever is the necessary arrangements, we will make it. And it's not a thing that happens in an every camp also. I don't really remember if there was any emergency that we had and then evacuate children in the last 3 4 years around here. And apart from that, for the rest of the time that they're on the trek, they would get dedicated places as internet, and sometimes they would just give us a call and give us an update, and we will post that text update. And if they are unable to get the signal, nothing to worry. We will just post the plan that is that we have allocated for the, and we will just let you know that it is a generic update. If it is a live update, we just mention it as a live update. And apart from that, in case of any sort of an emergencies from a campsite, again, for a small scratches or a bruises, we may not be giving you a call. But in case of children are running on a high fever, or if we have to give them an antibiotic or some sort of a TT injection or something like that, we will definitely give you a call, keep you informed, and based on your inputs, we will take the next steps. And apart from that, if there is any sort of an emergency from your end, you always have my contact. You can give me a call and I can check with the campus and revert back to you with information. But if it is something that you're unable to see your child picture on a specific day, I would say not to worry. Whenever we receive the next round of pictures, we will definitely upload. And if there is anything that we need to inform, we will definitely give you a call and keep you informed about it. Gadgets, as I mentioned, these are completely no gadget programs. When the children are coming into the Delhi airport, ideally we want them to carry their power bank along with the mobiles because we won't be able to charge their phones when they're on the campus or anything. The phones would stay in the Delhi office itself. And we would want them to carry a pouch kind of a thing where they will have to put their phone and they'll have to put their power bank charger and whatever other gadgets that they have. And along with that, we will want them to take a hard copy of their return ticket also. Please don't entirely depend on the e-copies. Make sure that you're sending the printout of the return ticket as well. So carry that in that pouch and then hand it over to us. And then once the children are back from the campus is when we will hand it this entire pouch back to them. But apart from that, there won't be any sort of a music players for them and no smartwatches, nothing with them. And yeah, that's better. And fitness and preparation, this is not an easy program. I'm happy that the children have chosen a Kedarkantha program where they'll be able to have a lot of fun, but at the same time, they will also realize how much potential that they have, right? So we still have another 10, 15 days for the program. Ideally, we would recommend children to do some sort of a preparation for the program. We also understand that they've been going through exams and boards and everything. But ideally, we still have another 10, 15 days for them, right? So I would recommend them to go for a walk every day for a 45 minutes to 1 hour. It doesn't have to be an uphill or a downhill. Just go for a regular walk for a 45 minutes to 1 hour. And in case if you want to up your game, just carry a rucksack, put some books or some weight into it, just dump in like 5 kilos of weight, and then just keep walking with that bag. Like if you want to, if you're staying in an apartment or something, avoid the lift, take up steps. So these are something that you can just start preparing your muscles and your body for it, right? And so that you, when you're on the program, and you'll be able to enjoy it and not to feel like it's too difficult or anything. But even if in case if you're feeling a little tired, it's obvious you will feel a little tired because kids are not used to doing a program like this or a trek or with a rucksack, right? So they will go through a little bit of hardship, but the whole point is that push your boundaries a little bit, right? So we take ample amount of breaks during the trek also, nothing to worry about. We have done this trek like multiple times so far. We understand that these are children and we maintain that pace and then we keep trekking up. So these two are a very important things on a program, which is bullying and substance abuse. Both of them, we don't have any zero tolerance around it. In case if we see that anybody is trying to pick a fight or bully another child, then we'll probably have a discussion and then we'll see what we can do best. And then there are some consequences that they'll have in case if we come across the first time. In case if it is repeating, then we just send them back, and we have sent the kids also back. We have sent the younger children also back from the campus on the second and third days, where we send them back on their expense, right? And same applies for the substance also. Any sort of alcohol, cigarettes, any contraband, nothing is allowed on the campus, and we will send them back, and we will also blacklist the children from never attending our programs. No junk food. So the main reason why we tell them not to have any food is that we want children to have like a proper nutritious meal on the campus. And when the children are traveling in the buses are all stocked up with snacks and water that is required for the journey. But in case, again, if children wants to carry some, they can just carry it for the journey. And once they reach the campus, we will ask them to deposit the food, whatever they're carrying, like in terms of junk food, and we will return it back to them on the last day. Again, if they want to have it during the travel, they can. But during the program time, there won't be any. And we also do some random checks on the campus. So please make sure that you're not carrying anything unnecessary for a camp. And pocket money, there's nothing really that children needs during the entire program. We don't have children spending money anywhere, except for the a couple of times when the children have landed in Delhi airport. If they want to grab a meal before the departure, is something that they can pay for themselves. But apart from that, once they're there at the departure till the time that they come back to the Delhi airport, everything is taken care by me. And on the last day of a camp on the TONS campus, we have a small souvenir shop that we open in case if children wants to buy a t-shirt or a keychain or something, they can. Nothing more than 2000 rupees is required really. And apart from this, if there is children who are taking flights, as I know that most of them are taking flights, so I would recommend parents to send some emergency cash with them. This is something that in case if they want to buy something at an airport, like a meal or anything. And ideally, I would recommend children to pre-book the meals also in their flights, or for the parents. Please make sure that you're booking the meals for the kids also, and send some emergency cash. Again, send hard cash with them, not the GPA or anything, because in case if they lose the device or if the screen kind of shatters, so that'll be a hassle for them, right? So ask them to carry some cash, and once they reach the campus, again, they can just deposit with us. We can safekeep it and return it back to them on the last day. This is pretty much about the program. And this is the kit list for the program. Hope all of you have received. And there are certain things that we talk about on the kit list that are something that you see, that warm layers during summers or raincoat during the summers. But we kind of make sure that the kit list is designed in such a way that whatever are the weather conditions, they are having a right gear to continue with the program, right? And genuinely speaking, you cannot really predict the weather in the mountains. And example, today I had around like 45 kids who have come back from the same Kedarkantha trek. And during the trek, it's not a typical monsoon season or uh, like pre-monsoons or anything, but there are a couple of days it rained, and when it rains, the temperature on the mountains goes really low, right? Again, it's not like -5 or zero, anything like that, but it would be again 10 degrees or something like that, or five. But this 10 degrees on a mountain at a 12,000 feet altitude or 11,000 feet altitude is very different compared to a regular 10 degrees somewhere else. So children need to have like a right gear for them on the program. That's why we designed the program here, kit list here. The basic things that you see here, like 7 t-shirts, preferably quick dry. It's again because one is that when they're doing the trek, we want them to have like a quick dry material because they dry up faster. Or if it is like a cotton material, they absorb the moisture also from the surroundings, and the body has to produce more heat to beat that cold, right? So quick dry materials are something that we recommend, and shorts are something that we recommend for the children when they're doing rafting or when they're on the camp. And whenever they're on the trek, they would be in the full track pants itself. And if you want to add on a couple of track pants more, please do so. And 7 to 8 pairs of socks. And please make sure that at least in the current program, as it rained, I would ideally recommend to carry like at least 2 pairs of warm socks for this. And please make a note. If you want, we will also send out another note after the orientation also to add a couple of things into this existing kit list, right? So warm socks is something that they can carry in case in the night if they're feeling a little cold, they can just wear that. And fleece jacket is again compulsory for them to carry it. This is a light material, but it does a good job in the outdoors when you're in the wilderness in a cold environment. Quick try travel important. Sorry, during the expedition, they won't be able to take a bath for 4 days. There are the only source of water that children get on the program is through the stream, and they carry it in a bottles, or we kind of carry a cans with us where we fill up the water bottle, fill up the entire can, and we have purification tablets and everything for us. But there's no source for them to have bath, or they can still have freshen up and everything at the stream, but they won't be able to take a bath during the program. And a cap and a sunshade is very important for a program. Undergarments, please do carry one for the day and add another three, four, because you will also be doing water-based activity and you're not going to take bath for that 4 days. So please make sure that you're changing your undergarments as well. If kids are used to having like a night clothes, that's what if they prefer, they can carry it. But preferably on a trek, they may not be carrying a night clothes. It would be a track pants and t-shirts and thermals like that. Specifically for a trek, one warm jacket. Please make sure that this is not just like a hoodie one. This is an actual jacket where you can use it for a 5-degree temperature also. So please make sure that this is a little thicker one, or even the down feather jackets does a good job. So you can carry those as well. Two sweatshirts or a hoodies. So overall that you're seeing here. So there's one fleece jacket that they need to carry, one warm waterproof jacket, and again, this if you want to have like a common uh, a jacket which is also like a water repellent, acts like a raincoat, brilliant. That's the one that you need to carry so that you're not carrying too many things. So one waterproof jacket. This has to be like a down feather jacket or a thicker jacket. One fleece and two sweatshirts or a hoodies. Again, these are something that helps the children to layer up. In case if it rains, they'll have to make sure that they're layering up so that it keeps them warm. So the base layer have to be like a t-shirt. On top of that, they can wear a sweatshirt, and on the sweatshirt, they can wear like a waterproof jacket. So they're comfortable and they're able to deal with the cold there. One, dark sunglasses with the retainer straps. Again, that what we recommend, because if there are retainer straps are basically the ones that connects the both the ends of the glasses, so it keeps them intact. And when you're doing rafting or during the trek also, if it just falls down with your rucksack, it'll be difficult for you to keep picking it up, right? So just carry a retainer strap. It's pretty much available in Amazon, Decathlon, most of the places. Trekking pole, this is an absolutely an optional. It's not mandatory. If the children wants to carry for an extra support, they can carry it, but nothing mandatory as such. Inflatable pillow, again, it's an optional thing. If kids are used to having an inflatable pillow at home and they can't sleep without it, then they can just carry one. And there's no blower machines or anything. It's just that you blow into it and you make it like a pillow. One pair of thermals. Again, I would personally recommend it to carry, not to keep it as an optional, because as I said, in case if it rains, the temperatures are gonna go quite low. Footwear, this is very important for the program, like especially for a Kedarkantha high altitude trek. And the picture that you see here, these are called as ankle length shoes, and I'm sure most of you would have already gotten the shoes by now. In case if you haven't, please I would recommend to get it as soon as possible. Do not just stick to a sports shoe or anything. They need to have this ankle and support, because one of the common injuries that we see in the wilderness is ankle injuries. They'll have like a sprain or anything, and then they won't be able to proceed with the trek further. So it's important that they need to have an ankle length shoe. And I'm also hearing that Decathlon is kind of running out of stock for this high ankle and shoe. So please, if you haven't got it yet, I would recommend you to get it. And I would also recommend children wearing this before the program, because new shoes sometimes they tend to give a shoe bite. We don't want them to use like a brand new shoe on the campus. Use it before the camp in case if you get a shoe bite, you will have a recovery time also too. by the time that you're coming back to the campus, right? So please make sure that you're uh, breaking into your new shoes. And one pair of hiking sandals. This is again something important that they need to carry. We would not recommend carrying Crocs, flip-flops, or slide-ons, anything like this. We would ideally want them to have like a high heel sandals, which the ankle also has got a support. There's a strap to it, and again, it's easily available in most of the sports brands or a Decathlon outdoor brands as well. Personal items, there's no toiletries provided on the campus. Shower gels, toothbrush, and sunscreen is an important for a program. And I would recommend not to carry perfumes because perfumes, they have got different fragrances, and then when you're in the wilderness with the perfume, there are bees and other things that will start following you, right? So please do avoid that. And about torch is an important one. You need to carry one. If you already have a headlamp, great. Or else if you're planning to buy one, probably torch is a better one to get one. Plastic bag, this is for you to this is basically a laundry bag where you will have to pack your used clothes or your wet clothes that you're coming back from the campus. Water bottle, minimum 750 ml. If you have a 1 liter bottle, it's great. And do not carry anything that is very fragile or a glass liner to it. Carry a hard plastic one, or if you have a thermos kind of a bottle, that is also great. Medicines, until or unless children are taking any daily medications, they don't need to carry any sort of a medication with them. They can, uh, all the precautionary medications are with us. We, as I said, we have a dedicated medical kit that we carry. But apart from that, if there is any alternate medications that children take, apart from the regular medications, right? So they can carry those also. But at any point of time, we don't want them to self-medicate themselves. They'll have to inform an instructor, and the instructor, based on the condition, they would give a medication. Spectacles, again, carry an extra pair if you have one. Packing, so the picture that you see here, this is called as a rucksack. Okay, so this is what children would be carrying from home. We do not recommend suitcases or trolleys to the campus, and because these are outdoors, you can't drag it. You'll end up damaging them. After that, you'll have to start lifting and carrying them, and they also take a quite a lot of space in the tent, right? So a rucksack is something that we recommend, and 60 to 70 liter rucksack is what you can get for the program. And most of the things that we have mentioned here have to be carried in this big rucksack. And apart from this, they would also be carrying a small day pack, which is what they would put their water bottle and their snack or cap or something that is required when they're on the campus for the first couple of days. And ideally, for the kids who are flying into the program also, please make sure that your torch batteries or your power banks are not in your bigger backpack. The bigger backpack is what you given at the counter for the check-in. And along with that, you carry a small backpack. In that, you keep your personal medications, your IDs, and your torch batteries or anything. Because these batteries, they won't get processed in the airports and if you keep it in your bigger backpack, right? So all of this is something that they would have to carry, whatever we mentioned in the bigger backpack. And this bigger backpack stays with the children on the campus, like in their tent itself. They don't take this on a daily basis. And whenever they're going for the trek, Inme will provide them a different rucksack. And in that, they would just put only the stuff that is required for them for that 3 days of duration. And they go for the trek and they return that rucksack back to Inme once they're completed with the trek, but their big backpack stays in the tent in the campus itself. Cash we already discussed, and this is something that we talked about, like no gadgets on the camp. So the only exception is a camera again. We keep taking bunch of pictures during the program time, but if children wants to document the journey, they can carry a camera, but it's completely their responsibility. And please do not send any DSLRs or anything because that adds up to more weight for them during the trek, right? And this is the one that we discussed about, where this is a pouch keeping your power bank, printed copy of the return ticket, and please make sure that children are also carrying an Aadhaar card. And most importantly, these days, we're also seeing that uh, the tickets are booked as a student fare for the children. And if they are booked on a student fare, please make sure that children are carrying their school IDs also, right? And this is something that they need to carry for the program, and they can deposit with us once they have reached, and then we can return it back to them. Or what they can do is they can just put this ID again back into that pouch and then give it to us, where they will get it back when they're in the Delhi airport. That's pretty much. I'm done with the orientation. In case if you have any questions, you can just unmute and go ahead and ask the question.
I can't find trekking shoes that that are my size, but and I use sport shoes instead.
No, but how, I mean, I can understand if you're around like 11 or 12, probably you find
Yeah,
it difficulty. There's also a app that I came across or a website. It's called SharePal. Okay. So they kind of rent out the gear. It's SHAREPAL. And just check with
hmm.
them. Or they generally have the sizes available till 12.
I'll do that.
But you
Thanks.
can't do it in a sports shoe though.
Oh, okay.
Subbu, thanks a lot for taking us through this entire session.
No problem.
Just wanted to check in with you. We don't need to send a sleeping bag.
No, sir, not required. I mean, generally in any other camp, we would ask the children to carry it. But this is a program where they might require like a 5 degree or a 0 degree sleeping bag. If they get it, they may not use it everywhere in India, right? So they can just use the ones that are there on the campus.
Okay, thank you. And the second thing is that for nebulization, because Niharika may get a little uncomfortable at higher altitudes, we'll
Okay.
send across the medicines.
Okay.
But do we need to send the nebulization kit also?
No, so that we will have it, but I would like to have a little longer conversation on this. I'll connect with you after the call, sometime during the rest of the day. We'll just talk about what I need to understand, what if there is any triggers or if there is anything that we need to look for. But you don't have to send the entire kit with them. You can just
Okay.
send the medication.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hi, Subbu. Really, thank you so much for this great orientation.
No.
Even I have the same question. It's like even my son was a little slightly asthmatic, but he's not. As for like 2 years, it's not triggering him. But still, like I just wanted to know the exact altitude. Like, does he need to consume? Like when we go for other treks, we usually take Dianox, which is a altitude
I
medicine.
know. Yeah, Dimox. Got it.
Yeah, so I just want to speak to you over this. Like, should I send it along with him? And also regarding nebulization, so when he runs out of breath, so should I send the respules that he usually takes if something happens?
Sure. You can send the medication with the child, no? But apart from that, Dimox is not really required because we carry it with us. And at the same
Okay.
time, probably a recommendation for all of the kids here is that please intake a lot of more water before the program because you'll need to at least consume like a 3 to 4 liters on a daily basis for the next couple of weeks so that it kind of gets into the blood, it thins the blood, it moves much faster, the breathing automatically gets better, right? So ideally, in
Mhm.
any of our camps, we don't want children to prefer medication as the first thing. We want their body to get adjusted to the new surroundings. But at the same time, if there is a requirement that we need to give a medication, we have all of them required. We will do it as per the situation. But you can send the medication with him, and Dimox is not required. As I said, we carry it. If it requires, then we will give one to him during the camp.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any more questions, parents? Okay, if there are none, going forward, please do follow that WhatsApp channel. We'll be sending out a departure message and everything. So this departure message will give you the details of the person who children needs to connect with when they're in the Delhi airport. So basically, once they land in Delhi airport, after collecting their bags, they just have to give a call to our coordinator. By then, we will have all our details with us in terms of what flights children are coming in, what are their mobile numbers, terminals, and everything. So my team would be waiting for them at the arrival gates itself. And children, they don't want us that we don't want them to step out of the terminal and then give us a call. They'll have to be inside and then give us a call. We will tell them to which arrival gate they need to come in, and then we'll pick them up from their arrival gates itself. And we'll be sharing some travel recommendations and some note in the WhatsApp channel. Please make sure that you have a look at it. Okay. In case if you don't have any other questions, you can feel free to log off. And thank you all for joining an orientation on a Sunday morning.